Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. My name's VGY and today we're doing a Shao Kahn guide. The definitive Shao Kahn guide. Now you may be wondering, VGY, what happened to the daily uploads? This one took a bit longer than usual because obviously it's a Shao guide. I put my blood, my sweat, my tears into it. So I hope you guys enjoy. If this is going to be the last Shao guide I'm going to make for this game, I think I've made one like full one and then like a little update bit for his buffs, but this is going to be a full definitive Shao Kahn guide for those of you Shao monsters who want to become monstrous, even more monstrous with the character. Just a little plug, it's, as you can see, CEO and Evo goal. We are getting really close to CEO now. It's literally next month, so it's now or never, boys, in terms of the donations. If you'd like to help out, please do so. If not, that's completely fine. I'm glad to see you here on the video. But, alas, sit back, relax. It's going to be a long ride. And enjoy the Shao Kahn guide by VGY. We'll see you guys in there. Right, we're here. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Today, we're going to be doing a Shao Kahn guide, the definitive edition with VGY. And, yeah, so I guess we're just going to get straight into it. For those of you who want to learn Shao at the best level in the world, aka moi, I'm going to get straight in and show you guys what's up. So, to begin, key normals. I just did the normal without explaining first, but key normals. Standing one. You guys know the drill with this weapon. I said weapon. This is a weapon. Right, so 9 frames fast. Very good range, as you can see here. Look at that. That is ridiculous. That range right there, that's a punish. That's a full punish you get from that distance, right? Really good recovery. As you can see, you do not whiff punish this. If Shao does this, you either get tagged or you just let it go. Or you block it. Like, he doesn't get whiff punish. As you can see, look. Such good whiff recovery. As I said, good range. It's also really good for anti-airing, as you'll see here. Like this, see that? It's really consistent. And then obviously you get a big damage convert off this, which you guys have probably seen me do about 70 gazillion times. You can even get a cheeky little wave dash combo in there if you want to get more optimal. But yeah, standing one of the... Beg your pardon, Kotal? Sit down. I'm gonna sneeze, excuse me. Okay, we're good. Right, so that's standing one. Also has extensions in standing 1, 2, 1 plus 3, standing 1, 4, 2, and these are all special cancelable, you know, as per usual. You guys know the drill with this. Standing 1 is essentially your best button, along with another button, which I'll get into in a minute. But standing 1, probably the best part of Shao's kit, because it just... This is what allows you to get damage. This is what starts your grounded damage. This is what starts your anti-air damage. It's good for keep out, because as you see, the range is so good. And if someone gets caught by this, like the second hit of this, they get launched. And if someone gets hit by this, they obviously get launched. And, you know, it's not low damage, as you can see. So, I mean, that's what? 33, and I didn't even finish the combo. I don't even have Annihilation on this. I have only air throw. But anyway, yeah, that's standing 1. Next button we're going to go over is sweep. This is also his joint best button. Absolute joke of a button, this. Look how far that goes. Look at that distance. That's him from there. Like, it's insane. And plus, again, no whiff recovery. If you whiff this, you're back straight away. If someone hesitates for even a microsecond, and they're like, oh, he's whiffed sweep. If they say, oh, he's whiffed sweep, that's enough time for you to get a down 1 in, and then pressure. Like, you have ages. Because, yeah, the whiff recovery is so good. It's the same with this. You can whiff a stand 1 in neutral and go straight into sweep. And before they've reacted, you hit them. It's really damn good. Also, on block, -2. So if they are blocking, by any chance... block all. -2. As you can see, look at how I can just like machine gun them. if I want to. That's how little disadvantage I'm at there. But yeah. Sweep. Ridiculously good move. Abuse it. Like, literally, just press this button. There's no reason not to press this button. Also has a really good knockdown as well, so you get a double wave dash when they're on the ground. To, like, fill the wake up. Or, like, burn frames, rather, because the knockdown's so good. Like that. Or you can do short hop or something if you'd like. Only one wave dash if you want to do that. And, you know, you could whiff a standing one, then go into throw. Like, go into mid. The world is your oyster. I mean, this button just, like I say, abuse it. It's such a good sweep. Probably the best sweep in the game. In my opinion. Well, that's a sweep. Now I'm going to go to forward 2. This button is also ridiculous. As you can see, it goes a decent bit. You know, it's got some range on it, just a little bit. Look at that. So good. And with the buff to hammer lunge, previously this was possible, but you couldn't really do anything off of it in the old patch, like old patch ages ago. But once he got the hammer lunge buffs, that he can combo off of the hammer lunge mid-screen now because of back 3, he now gets this. Which ain't bad, is it? I mean, 37 off a half-screen normal is like, it's not bad. Like, where is that hitting from? So that we're here, comfortably hits. See here? Comfortably. So from here, they can just breathe and you whiff punish them. And also it has extensions as well. This being plus and this being gapless and safe. So the only bad thing about this button is that it's a high. If this was a mid, mate, this button would be a problem. If this was a mid, yeah, that would be insane. Imagine. Safe mid, confirmable from that distance. Or plus on block mid from that distance. Or then the stagger. Like, that would be insane. But yeah, the only bad thing about this is that it's a mid. Oh, sorry, it's a high, not a mid. But even regardless, people don't duck this because guess what? They're afraid of a sweep that goes just as far, you know? And they get knocked down and the pressure starts, for example. So, yeah, abuse this. If they start ducking it, though, just pop them with these. They can't really do much about it. Your next button, down 4. This is on par with some of the best buttons he's got. This is your check. This and sweep. If you see this hit, you go in because you're plus 20. So you do that. If you don't want them to move, you do a sweep. If you think they're going to stay there and respect the sweep, you do a forward 4 because then you're plus 6. Or if you want to get frisky with it, you can do that. You can do a dash up standing 1 because that does work. You just got to be on point with it. Like if, for example, they hold up here, this launches them. And they have to take all of that damage. So if you want to go for a safe option, you can also do this. You have the KB for a cheeky 32 if you have it. But yes, down 4 is essentially your mid. So think if you're Jackie Briggs, right? What are you going to do? You're going to, if you hit a down 1 as Jackie, you're going to go for forward 1 or forward 3, right? To check them, to stop them from like mashing or jumping. But with Shao, what you want to do is down 4. Because if they mash, the advantage you get, essentially what you want to do with him is you want to push them to the corner. Because now they're in the corner. Oh, look. They're taking... Let's have a look. Oh, look. They just took 46% because they held up, you know? You don't want to fight mid-screen. The only time you want to fight mid-screen is when they jump at you. In which case, boom, boom, and then you take them to the corner. Which is why you'll see me use 2 bars a lot of the time, even though there's not really reason to. Apart from the fact, A, I do ridiculous damage. Like, for example, let's just say I've anti-aired him here. Excuse me. Say I've anti-aired him here. 2 bars. My bad. He's in the corner now. If I have Annihilation there, which I normally do, I'm just on a different variation for now. But, like, he's in the corner there. And that's where I want him. Because then, the down 4, when I'm in the corner... Let's just get him there really quick. If I'm in the corner, there's no execution barrier here. I get this. So if they mash... Oh, they're launched. And then obviously I get the mind game with Scum Grab, being an instant armor break off of the hammer lunge. So, essentially that's your game plan. Get them in the corner, and then they're either going to jump out, or panic, because they always do against Shao for some reason. I don't know why. All you have to do against him is this. And then I can't play the game. Because then I have to either grab you or short hop you, both of which are unsafe. One of them's reactable. I mean, both of them are reactable, to be honest. Grabs are very reactable, at least to me. So yeah, that's down 4. Ridiculously good poke. Good range. Good pushback on block. As I will show you. Look at that pushback. Look at that pushback. Literally, the reason I won pro competition was because of this. If I can get it out. That right there. Law Corridor did not know the matchup, so all I had to do was max range down 4, and then he'd dash, because Joker's buttons don't reach that far. Forward 1 doesn't reach that far. Forward 2 doesn't reach that far. Like, nothing reaches that far, so he'd dash in, and then get clipped by this, and then launch. And because he's Joker, that's 2 combos and he's dead. Right? So it's really good against characters that don't have that mid-distance. It's good against Jackie as well. Like, Shao does decent against Jackie. Has the health pool advantage and just chunks her health bar. But yeah, that's down 4. Let me think. Back 3 deserves a mention. Back 3 is not really a button you use much. It's just a combo filler, but it's such a good combo filler. Like, if you see here, for example, if I do this combo, right, that's doing 16 or 17 rather. Like, that's a lot more damage you're getting in just the early stages, but let's just finish off the combo here. So a simple one. But in 33, right? Now let's add the back 3. Look at that. Like, that's ridiculous. Off of just one button. Like, this button is ridiculous. It makes it so that in the corner as well, you get ridiculous combos off of your hammer lunge, because previously you'd do this, right? That was your confirm off hammer lunge in the corner. It was much tighter to hit back then. That's what you do, and that does good damage, don't get me wrong, it does great damage. But now for Measless you can get this. That's no bar, and it's like similar to that and requires 0 execution. And if you want to spend bar, I mean, that's where the party gets started, really. You just... %. You know? It's pretty damn good. So, back 3. It's good for long range with punishment. When your forward 2 won't reach, your back 3 will. For example, at this range, forward 2 won't reach, the back 3 will reach. And it's a launcher, so it's hit confirmable, right? So you can just go straight into shoulder. Or if you're really sick with it, you can dash up. But like if you're max range, that's harder. You've got to be on point with it. And of course, going for shoulder charge is just like guaranteed pretty much. You get loads of time to confirm that shoulder. So yeah, back 3 deserves an honourable mention. It's mainly for combos, but you can use it to whiff punish, because you occasionally will see me do that, and I'll pop off, because back 3 whiff punishes are extremely satisfying, I must say. But in terms of other best buttons, we've got stand 1, we've got down 4, we've got sweep, we've got forward 2, we've got back 3. Forward 4 is another honourable mention. Just plus frames, really. And it's so slow that it's actually good, right? You can get poked out of this. But normally, when someone's in this, right, if they're in down 4 hit stun, they can actually poke you out of that. So if you do down 4 into forward 4, you can get poked. But normally, like I said earlier, if you're going to hit them with down 4, they have this to fear, which is guaranteed, which is 46% in the corner. So if you think I'm going to respect that, you go for this. And the good thing about forward 4 is that it's so slow, if you're up close, people think you're going for a grab. You see the way like Shao gets ready for the big boot? So they get hit by this, and the knockdown off of this, you get 3 years to do what you want. Like, literally, that whiffed, because I've got that long. Dash sweep whiffs, because I'm that plus. You know? So you have more, like, that double wave dash grab whiffs, because I have that long. Compared to sweep, which is not even anywhere near as long. So you get a jump in off this. A jump in mix up, so you can jump, throw. Yeah, you get loads of plus frames off of that. So yeah, use Forward 4 when you think they're going to respect your sweep or your jailing standing 1 string, essentially. You can also use it like mid-screen, like, because obviously sweep, they're afraid of this, they're afraid of that, so why not just go for some plus frames, get things started. If it gets a knockdown, good. If it doesn't get a knockdown, guess what? You're +6 right next to them. And you know, I often go for more than 1 in a row, because then your challenge after that is the forward 3, which is a 10 frame mid, which they cannot interrupt because you're +6. Only way this gets interrupted is if they flawless block the forward 3, but then again, you can just grab if they do that, or short hop, because they ain't going to be ready for both, you know. So that's that. Boy, I've not checked Shao's moveset in such a long time. I think last honorable mention, of course, you've got your throws, but like they're not specific to him. Yeah, last honorable mentions are his jump-ins. Jump 2 is ridiculous. Jump kick is also ridiculous because of jump OS. He gets shoulder charge off of that. It's ridiculous. I mean, just a chunk of damage. And also, if you get into the corner as well, it's even worse for them. As you can see, 34%, excuse me. Yeah, abuse your jump-ins. Your jump-ons are really good air-to-air as well. But yeah, in terms of key buttons, I think that's everything. So just to recap, standing 1, ridiculous range, good keep out, good anti-air. Is you're going to be your jab starter for most of your punishment, as you can see there. Down 4, that's your mid check essentially. It's such good harassment, such good harassment, good range, good pushback, everything you'd want in a poke. Your back 4, your sweep, just abuse it. Really good on block, good knockdown, good pressure starter, as you can see. Yeah, just abuse sweep as much as you possibly can. Good whiff recovery, same with standing 1. Back 3 is your really good combo filler and long range whiff punish. Forward 2 is another long range whiff punish that's a high, but can be extended with strings that are safe or plus. And you can obviously confirm straight into hammerland if you want that launch. Yeah, your jump-ins. Just try and abuse them as much as possible. But that will be it for key buttons. Let's move on to some specials. Right, so, special moves. Now, this is a relatively simple department here because he doesn't have that many, and the ones that he does have, in terms of variation specific and normal, quite self-explanatory, and the ones that you're supposed to use, not many. So, start things off. The classic, the staple, shoulder charge. Now, this is just a launcher, 16 frames fast, goes half screen. It's just a beautiful move, really. One of the best moves in the game. As you can see, it sends them really far away as well. So, one thing about it as well that is interesting, that I don't touch on a lot because I don't really do this, but the block stun of shoulder charge is extremely weird. Like, you'll think, okay, that's really easy to punish. It is. But sometimes, look at that pushback. A Frost standing 1 will whiff there. A lot, like a Night Wolf standing 1 will probably whiff there. A lot of standing 1s will whiff. So unless they're on top of things and the Frost, for example, does a back 1, or a standing 2, they're going to miss that. And it's such a weird block stun to where you can actually miss the punish quite frequently. It's really weird. I've noticed, you know, every time, you know, I need a random shoulder to hit and I do one and they block it, they'll sometimes miss the punish and I'm safe. And think the risk reward there is highly in my favor if they miss that punish, because shoulder is death on block. If you don't punish shoulder charge, but then it hits you the next time, I get 30%. And if you're not punishing it, you get nothing. So like, it's just infinitely in my favor, you know. Off of shoulder charge, of course. No, not stance hold. Excuse me. Off of shoulder charge, of course, we have the down amplifier, which is going to be an armor break. So if I put him onto fast break, obviously get extra damage off that. Now this does a chunk of damage. As you can see there, 40% no corner required. Ridiculous. So yeah, the main place that you'd use this, right? So the thing about this is that it's quintessentially a bad armor break. It's bad. It's not good. The reason why is because obviously the other option of a shoulder charge is the launcher. Now you can just wait for the launcher and break on reaction. So for example, if I put myself as player 2 and I record Shao doing this, as you can see here, see that? I can just react. Because it's very obvious which one he's doing. That's what you're supposed to do against it. But what people do instead is what I just did as, what the Kotal just did. And they'll break in between immediately. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll do this. I'll do a little delay. Because obviously the slam is instant. As you can see there. Also, the slam got buffed and now it's like plus 33. So you get ridiculous, like, frame advantage off that. Like, with a standing one, go for a throw, you know, that kind of job. But, yeah, people panic. It's like, it's not a good armor break, but you'll see it get mileage sometimes. The fear of it will make people panic. And plus, you know, people don't know the Shao matchup, which is why they make these mistakes. But, yeah, that's shoulder charge. You've got the splat, which gives a good advantage on as an armor break, and then the launcher, which obviously gives you... excuse me, how did I just walk that? There you go. The launcher, which gives you some really, really good damage. And is your main source of damage. Like, this is what your go-to is going to be off of pretty much anything, apart from standing on 4, which you're going to do hammer lunge off of. But we'll get into that. Actually, we'll just go now. Hammer lunge. You've got 3 ranges on this bad boy. You've got close. You've got normal. You have far. And I do not think this has a very far. No, it does not. Well, I mean, it doesn't need one because far goes basically full screen. And it gives you a combo, obviously, which is fantastic. Exactly what you want. So this move, again, pretty self-explanatory, as I mentioned. Goes over projectiles. So if I can get this correctly, that would be glorious. So I'm going to backdash, projectile. Boom. First try? Stop it. But yeah, as you can see there, it goes over projectiles. It's great for that. So if you read a projectile, you get 40% off a projectile. If they're closer to the corner, you get even more. So this move is insane for that reason. It also converts off of forward 2, like I said. Standing on 4, like I said. And also, something that people might not know, I'll have to switch variation for this because Annihilation is not in this this one. But I think people don't know, which is kind of cheeky little tech for him. Damn, look at my drip. Damn. So, if you finish a combo with Annihilation, and they don't block, you can do, if you time it perfectly, it has to be perfect. See that combos? You can do back 2 hammer lunge. Now normally, it doesn't combo. But only when you end it in Annihilation, just because of the way they get up, and how plus you are. You get that as a combo. Look at that damage. Because they decided not to block. So it's a real, like, it's extremely good. Extremely good. Back 2, being a safe mid with, like, that much hit stem. Being able to convert into a hammer lunge in the corner, really good. And a bit close to the corner as well, not fully in there. But you have to be a decent bit into the corner, you know. But yeah, that works and it's really strong. But yeah, hammer lunge, the launcher that you're going to use instead of shoulder when you can use it, you know. So in the corner, for example, in the corner you're not going to go for this. Right. The only reason you'd go for that is if you do a 1-2, because 1-2 does not combo into hammer lunge. So you'll do, if you get a 1-2 off, you'll do a regular combo, for example, you know? But yeah, essentially, use it when you get 1-4 or forward 2, right? Because you can't use it on a mid, right? You have to use shoulder charge in that situation, which is fine, because shoulder charge, it still does good damage, right? As you can see, that damage is not bad. 35. Very respectable, but you can't snuff at damage like this. You know, no corner required. That's just pretend we're not in the corner there. 37, like that's ridiculous. That's hammer lunge. Next up we have spear. Very, very simple on this one. just your standard projectile. Yeah, it says it's a mid. Don't believe that. It's a complete lie. This is a high. Because even... I'd be shocked if... Like, if Kotal's ducking here, I think it might whiff. Movement mode, duck. Oh, not me. You duck, mate. No, you. There you go, you duck. See that? Whiffs. Even from there. That's where it hits, but like... See that? That's ridiculous. It's going through his skull. Do you see that? Terrible move. Terrible move. But it's terrible as a projectile, but like it's actually a good move because you'll notice 8%. That's a lot of damage. You know, that's more than half a throw. So 2 of these, that's a throw and then some. Right? It adds up. And of course, if you hit 3 of those bad boys, you get the crushing blow for 1, 2, 1 plus 3. I just reset by mistake. I'll just put easy crushing blows on. For the sake of it. You'll see this damage. Very much worth it. Mind you, you can combo into this. Am I bad? I think you can do this. I could be wrong. No, you can do this, yeah. But for no bar whatsoever, almost 40. And that's a quick combo. So normally I'd do that. You don't see me do this often. But normally that's because I don't have the KB, because people just don't get hit by this, because it's very easy to not get hit by spear. But you'll see me do that when they almost have enough for breakaway, but not quite, and that will do it. Like, that will hit in time before they get breakaway. So they'll either break on the last hit, so I'm really plus, or I get 40. You know, wherever I am on the screen. And you can also combo this for the record off of shoulder charge as well. Very similar damage numbers, so yeah, ridiculous KB. So it's worth going for these when you have the time, because chunking damage, really good knockdown. They more often than not give you a dark priest, which is what I'm pressing here, but I don't have it on this variation. But yeah, just go for them just to fill space, burn time. If you've got a life lead, just, you know, back up wave dash and throw some of those, and then if you get the KB, it's party time, you know. That's spear. So we've got spear and no, we've done spear, shoulder, hammer lunge. Annihilation, I guess, is the next one. Very, very short segment for this. Just a combo ender, pretty much. You can do it off of pokes as well. All true block strings off of pokes. For example, if I do down 1 Annihilation, you cannot mash through that. Like, it's impossible. Same thing if I do down 4 Annihilation. You can't mash through that. Down 3 Annihilation, you can't mash through that. Like, it's I think, essential to do this sometimes, because Shao, there's no reason not to mash on him. You know, when you block something of his, he's always so negative that it's your turn. So, to put Annihilation after a poke, only pokes, don't be a crockhead and do like 1-2 Annihilation on block. Like, that's ridiculous. Don't do that. If you're going to do something after 1-2 on block to try and fill in the gap for 1-2, 1 plus 3, do shoulder. You may as well. You're just as unsafe, but shoulder launches. But the thing about shoulder is that down 1 shoulder is not real. Down 4 shoulder also not real. So you can just, you know, get interrupted out of that. Which is why Annihilation is good in these cases, because you can send someone full screen off of Annihilation. It does a good chunk of damage, and it's fast and shoulder, and doesn't get interrupted off of pokes. And yeah, that's your combo ender as well. So Annihilation. One of my favourite moves in the game. Beautiful move. So that's Annihilation. After that, we've got Scum Grab, aka Skewered. Well, these are literally the same thing. The only difference is that Skewered has a more of a vertical hitbox. Like this, you see where the spear's hitting there? It's like a good portion around that spear that it hits. Also has one of the best brutalities in the game, which you guys have seen on the channel many, many, many times. One of my favourites for sure. But yeah, they're literally the same move. The only difference is that one launches on Amplify and the other one doesn't. As you can see here, same thing. Keeps the same side. There's also something to note. Scum Grab swaps sides. Skewered keeps the same side on non-Amplify. However, switches sides on Amplify. As you can see there. Also gives you worse Oki, but better damage. So, to sum up, Skewered keeps the same side. Scum Grab switches sides at all times, even the Amplify. Skewered does more damage. Amplified Scum Grab does more damage than Meterless Skewered, obviously. Scum Grab is faster than Skewered. Scum Grab's 7 frames, Skewered is 9 frames. And they both armor break. But one launches on Amplify and one doesn't. Interesting. So that's Skewered and Scum Grab. I will say I prefer Scum Grab just because it's faster and I just love the animation of Scum Grab. Especially the amplification of it. So good. Just that bop on the head. Very, really, really good. So that's Scum Grab and Skewered. Am I missing anything? Dark Priest. I'm missing Dark Priest. Have I got... I'll just go to... what's it called? Blizzard Emperor, because this is my variation. This is my favorite. Even though Up Hammer is useless, this was my variation that I used for the longest time. This move right here, terrible move. But yeah, so Dark Priest, pretty simple. Just makes all of your hammer attacks do more. So you'll see here, 13%. This will now do 19%, which is ridiculous. Down 2, does 154, normally does 140. Hammer Lunge, does 77 here, does 70 here. Just buffs all your hammer attacks. Literally anything using the hammer, whether it be the handle end or the actual hammer itself, buffed. Also gives you access to a launcher of Annihilation. As you can see here, which does mental damage. I'm going to try and put him in the corner here. To show you just an example of this. The damage, potential that you can get with this. Am I bad? The answer to that question is yes. I just want to show you. I'm not used to playing offline, to be honest with you. It's weird not having lag. Very, very strange. Oh, there you go, 55%. That's no fatal blow either. But yeah, that's Annihilation, Crushing Blow, which you get off of Dark Priest. So pretty simple, that's Dark Priest. I'm trying to think if I've forgotten anything else. I don't think I have. Yeah, that's everything. Right, so that's everything. And then obviously his Fatal Blow. One of the worst Fatal Blow attacks in the game. As you can see, extremely slow. Not that, range is quite generous, but it's like, for how slow it is, the range should be that generous. It's not Shang Tsung's Fatal Blow. That's terrible. Like, that's the worst in the game, in my humble opinion. But, yeah, it's really slow. For example, I forget who I was against. I think it might have been Cabal or Eren, but I was in a tournament one time, and I did Fatal Blow, but by the time it had connected, there was some sort of damage over time, and I died because it's that slow. So I had to just watch the whole animation and then just die anyway. It's like... No, it wasn't that. It was the timer. The timer was about to run out, and I did this on 3 seconds. And because it took so long to transition into the actual cinematic, I lost anyway. So yeah, Fatal Blow, extremely slow, but it does lead to some very good damage. Must be said. As you can see here. This last hit does a ridiculous amount. We're at 43 now. Yeah, chunking damage, which you love to see on the Shao Kahn. So, just to recap, Shoulder Charge is your main launcher. You've got the down amplify, which is going to be your armor break, or a splat if you want loads of good frames. Or you can do the regular amplify, which is a launcher, which is your full combo. That's Shoulder Charge. Scum Grab, your quintessential anti-air and armor breaker as well, if you choose to do that with it. Mainly good after Hammer Lunge in the corner, or just corner combos in general, because they literally can't escape this. It's so fast. Skewered, pretty much the same if you want a launching version of that. Hammer Lunge, your launcher when you can't, or when you can use it, off of standing 1 before, forward 2, And back 2 after an Annihilation in the corner. Dark Priest, just if you want to buff your hammer attacks, then give your Annihilation some juicer damage, as you just saw. So that's Dark Priest. And then I think that's everything. Let me just double check. I don't want to forget anything for you guys. Oh, and Spear. This. Just a good filler. Does a really, really good chunk of damage. And then builds, obviously, your 1+3 KB, which is exactly what you want. Because that is literally a game changer. If you this makes his throw game insane because they get so scared. It's a 1+3 that is loaded after that 3rd spear, so you get it whenever you want. So you can do it after a down 4 to, you know, keep them honest. You can do it, just dash up and do it. Because, you know, often I dash up and throw. Do this instead. They get hit by the 2nd hit. If they're not fast enough, boom. 31% just there. That's very good. But yeah, that will do it for the special move section. On to the last section where we're going to do some quick combos and then some tips and tricks. And yeah, I'll see you guys there. Hello, so we have the last section of the guide now. And that's going to be some tips and tricks and some combos. Going to be probably the shortest section of the guide because this is just a little section to help you guys understand what is going through my mind when I do things and my general game plan going into a lot of the stuff that I do with Shao. So one thing I will recommend is if you look at his walk speed here, very fast. I know you see me zoom around a lot, like so. But don't feel the need to wave dash at all times. You'll see me just walk sometimes because his walk speed is so good that you can afford to do that. So just walk. Like, there's nothing better than just sitting full screen here, someone who hasn't got a projectile, just doing this. Just walk at them with no fear. Obviously block when you can, but just walk because you can just block instantly pretty much. So just walk at them. And back hook if you need to as well. So that's one thing. Another thing is don't be afraid to just wait for things to happen. So we all know Shao is not the best at opening people up. He has no overhead. He has no good mid. You know, his mid reaches that far, which is terrible. You know, Jack is forward 1's reaching from there. Jax is forward 3 and his forward 2 are reaching from there. You know, Cassie's back 2. Cassie's forward 4. The list goes on. Fujin's back 1. So just wait for things to happen. Most, you know, often people will jump out of just panic, and because it's MK11, jumping is rewarded like heavily. However, when you're against Shao, you can't jump because he just does this. Like, it's you cannot jump at him. It's impossible. Doesn't matter what character you are. If you're standing one on point, they can't jump at you, and they take 35% 1 bar, 42 bars if they decide to do that. So that alone will put people off of jumping, and then if they do decide to jump, you just win, because if they give you that damage, that's damage that they just wouldn't be receiving otherwise, right? Because you get back 3s in that as well, and back 3s do a lot of damage if you can add them up, especially in the corner if you get 2, right? So yeah, that's just another tip. Wait for an opening, because more often than not people will panic, especially if you're just harassing them with sweeps or down 4s. You know, you can just afford to be safe. Forward 2s, jump ins, you get, you know, hits there, just convert off those. But yeah, be patient, wait for an opening. Next tip is going to be use your throws a lot, because the thing about his throws is that they do not give Oki, right? But they add up. As you can see, 13% obviously doesn't give Oki. But if you're harassing people with, you know, a 7% sweep, a 9% overhead short hop, 30% throw, as you can see, his health bar, it's adding up. And at that point, if he's at half health, that's one combo that's going to kill him, pretty much. A combo in a little bit, but you get what I'm trying to say, is that you don't have to achieve Shao's full potential through just doing combo damage. Like, his poke is extremely good, you know? Like I say, and it's down one great keep out, you know, you do this and send them full screen if you wish. Like, his poke is fantastic. So don't worry if you're not necessarily doing the biggest combos that you see me do on a daily basis. That's fine, because his poke is so good that you don't actually have to do a combo to win a round. You can just use his great neutral tools, because his neutral is fantastic. So yeah, that's that tip. Another tip as well is, obviously Shao has some very good optimal combos, right? As you can see here, if I go absolutely optimal here, pretend I'm not in the corner, I'd go for an Annihilation after that, right? I keep forgetting I don't have it. Yeah, pretend I'm not in the corner there. That's optimal. That's as optimal as you're going to get. Excuse that, I just had to sneeze. But it's okay to not have to do the absolute optimal, you know? I'm completely fine. If you want to just go for one standing 4 to make it easy for yourself, or something you'll see me do often, is this. Where I don't go for the dash up back 2, because on some hitboxers it's hard to hit. It's okay to do those things, you know, because he does so much damage anyway that your poke that you get after the combo and the Oki that you get, because obviously after scum grab, you can get a lot. You can get a sweep, you can get a throw, you know, the world's your oyster. Sorry, I'm sneezing a lot. Allergies, you know how it is. But, yeah, don't feel the need to always go for optimal, because you'll see me, you know, not go for optimal a lot. I do tend to go for them. But it's important to understand that you don't always have to. And I need to make sure you guys understand that, because sometimes people will go for optimal combos with Shao and then drop them and lose the round, because Shao, when he opens you up, he has to get the damage. That's the point. He's high risk, high reward. Not the way I play him, but like his kit is high risk, high reward, because if you do this, you're asking for yourself to be launched, because it's unsafe at all times and reactable at all times. So you just have to be careful. But yeah, that's that tip. And then some quick combos, I guess. So off of your hammer lunge mid-screen, this is your standard. Back 3, dash up back 2, shoulder charge amplify, standing 4, scum grab or annihilation, depends on what you want. In the corner, off of hammer lunge, you're going to do, if you want to do meatless, triple back 3, 1, 2, and then an ender of your choice. If you want to go 1 bar, back 3, standing 1, standing 4, shoulder charge, 2, 3, ender of your choice. If you want to go 2 bar, back 3, standing 4, shoulder charge, standing 4, shoulder charge, and then ender of your choice after a down 1. And then if you want to go for a shoulder charge combo off the ground, you can do this. I don't have Annihilation. I keep forgetting I don't have it. Back 3, excuse me. And then ender of your choice. I keep inputting Annihilation, which you guys will see. I'm so sorry. There we go. That's it, your optimal off of shoulder. There's also another one I've seen. It's like, you do a back 2 there. Yeah, like that. And then you do 2, 3, I think. I've actually never tried that. I want to try that combo. Yeah, it's like that. Something along those lines, anyway. I won't do it too many more times. I don't want to waste you guys' time. I have 2 more goes. I'm bad. That right there. Although I don't know how you're gonna... Yeah, I don't know how Annihilation's gonna work there, but I mean, I'm sure someone knows the answer to that, because I don't. Anyway, those are going to be your standard combos. Obviously, I showed you the ones where you can do this and the like. But in terms of... I'll do the down 2 combo as well, actually. The down 2 combo is... I'm going to go for a back 3, dash up, standing 4 shoulder, standing 4 ender of your choice. You can also choose to do a standing 1, back 2 if you wish in that situation. So if you can see here. Like that. And then in the corner, it's party time. Because you get 2 back 3s. So back 3, standing 4 shoulder, standing 2 shoulder, End of your choice. Now, the reason I do standing 2 shoulder is because it uses up less gravity. I'll show you here. If you do 2 standing claws, because it's slower, it's hittable, but you get less time. As you can see, if we compare the damage, that did, I think, 534. So 514. It's 2% less damage and way easier to hit. So, and you know, like I was talking about with that optimal thing, don't be afraid to go for that because it is much easier. And yeah, the standing claw, obviously because it's a slower start at the standing 2, is much harder to hit sometimes. But that's going to be the end of the Shao guard, I think, guys. So I'm going to cut to an outro, so this section is just easier to edit, and I'll see you guys there. And that will be the end of today's guide. Thank you all so much for watching. I tried to put as much info as I possibly could in such a compact time so that you could just watch it, breathe it all in, and then put it into your own gameplay. I tried to not make it too long, but I did make it long enough to the point where, you know, it would be succinct information and it would also be useful information, because I didn't just want to sit here and waffle at you and be like this, that, and the other, and like explain it from the way I think about it, because the way I think about it is way shorter than the guide, because I don't think about it. It's just second nature to me. You know, people do the things, I counter them. That's just how it goes. But for you guys that wanted a bit of extra info, there it is. Let me know what you guys thought in the comment. If you made it all the way to the end of the guide and you watched all of it without skipping anything, please put Armageddon in the comments. The word Armageddon. I don't know why that came to mind. I just thought of Shao and then Armageddon popped in my head. So Armageddon is the word for the comments. And once again, if you'd like to donate, please do consider going to my PayPal and supporting me there. It would really mean a lot, especially after how long this video is taken to make. Multiple days. And, you know, notes and trying to make this as good as I can for you guys. So if you could support me there, or just through liking, subscribing, and all that juicy stuff, commenting even, that would be much appreciated. So, that being said, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take it easy, guys.